So this is our traditional holiday episode here at Natural Health Dialogue with naturopathic Dr. Randy Lee, and apparently they've scanned the world over and come up with just one holiday. And you might be able to figure out what it is. It's Halloween. So, Randy, how are we going to relate Halloween to natural health?
Yeah, it's I love what Jolene does with these articles. They're very lengthy blogs if you want to read them, that we take this little 10-minute segment out of to put onto a podcast. But if you're interested in this, and a lot of people will be interested in this topic, not because it's Halloween. She touches on the fact that it's Halloween, but she always finds some way to tie the holiday into a health topic.
Right.
And what do you do on Halloween? We go trick-or-treating. What are kids getting when they go trick-or-treating?
All that great processed sugar.
That's exactly right. Tons of sugar. Biggest year of the candy business, biggest holiday of the candy season's year is to go out and do all this Halloween shopping. So, and if you do that much sugar, the natural corollary to that is to say, well, what about diabetes? And so her whole article is about 5 pages long on the blog. On the blog, about 5 pages long, and it's all about diabetes and things that are related to diabetes. Now, I figured that will be tremendously important to America because the number of diabetics is growing astronomically.
Mm-hmm.
About 1 in 4 people now in America have early pre-diabetes or full-fledged diabetes.
I had no idea.
Obesity leads to diabetes. Overeating of processed foods leads to diabetes. Of course, overeating of sugars leads to diabetes. It's become an epidemic in itself. And so she's got some wonderful things that she's covered here. The very first thing she talks about is sugar itself, and it's only a very short paragraph where she just basically says sugar is a bad thing. It's a naturally occurring carbohydrate. It includes brown sugar, cane sugar, confectioner sugar, fructose. She even lists honey and molasses there. Processed honey is definitely just sugar. Raw honey has some compounds in it that help your body treat it as a complex carbohydrate, which means that it's processed in your body slower and doesn't spike the blood sugar the way processed honey or naturally processed sugars do. So raw honey is what we get when we do the beekeeping that we talked about last week.
Right.
But molasses is also a thing that's just processed. And so anytime we process these things, basically what that means is we're heating them up to levels where most of the good stuff that's in them is destroyed. And what you end up with is a basic sugar compound, which causes your blood sugar to rise whenever you eat it. So the first thing she does after she introduces sugar is she talks about some sugar alternatives, and they're really chemicals. They're good for keeping your blood sugar levels down, but they have some side effects that we in the natural realm don't particularly care for. Sucralose, which is like Splenda, saccharin, which is like Sweet and Low, aspartame, which is like Equal.
Right.
All of those products are man-made, and they're made are processed in such a way that while they do keep your blood sugar down, they do have other side effects which can cause some real problems for the rest of your body and bacteria within your body.
Right.
She addresses each of those individually and talks about, and I'm not going to do that on this blog, we don't have time to do that, but she talks about the negatives to those. If your primary consideration is just keeping your blood sugar low, these are going to be better for you than hard sugars, but remember that you are going to have some side effects which may have some tremendously deleterious effects to your body as well.
So is the moral of the story we should give kids some kind of like stevia candy instead of regular?
Yeah, the next category after the man-made sweeteners are, how about some natural sweeteners?
Okay.
Some things. And stevia is actually made from a plant. It's processed in such a way so that it has 0 calories. It has a 0 impact on your glycemic index, And we're finding in our business, in our stores, in health food stores, we have more and more products. I have some absolutely tremendous chocolate bars that are made with stevia that taste good, taste just like regular chocolate, and don't have the negative effects of the sugar. So we're finding more and more products that use things like stevia, the sugar alcohols, the things like xylitol. Now xylitol has some. You have to get it. You have to take it for a while to get rid of the effect that it'll have on your bowel. Initially, you may have some bowel tolerance factors with xylitol, but your body will develop some resistance to that. Erythritol is also a sugar alcohol sweetener that's unlike others that we've talked about, but doesn't have some of those deleterious effects that you get out of even the sugar alcohols. And then she doesn't even mention one that I use a lot. No, yes, she does. I just missed it. I didn't mark it on her thing. Monk fruit.
Yeah.
Monk fruit is called lohan in the Chinese culture, but it's been around for thousands of years, and it also is 0 calories, 0 on the glycemic index, tastes like sugar, looks like sugar, and is used as a one-for-one substitute for sugar. So the only negative with monk fruit that we have found is some of the things that you cook with it. It'll tend to take on a little bit of what I call the wintergreen breathiness type of thing.
Oh, okay.
So there is that negative. But if you're not cooking with it, it's the most like sugar of any of them that we've had. Things that counteract the effects of sugar to keep the diabetes away. Fiber. When they're talking about net sugars or net fibers, they're talking about taking your sugar content and subtracting the amount of fiber that's from it. It gives you your net sugars or net carbs that are going to cause a problem for you. So increase fiber in your diet, and she gives you a number of ways that point out the importance of the fiber and what fiber does and how it works in your body. I think most of us are aware of what the fiber does for our whole digestive system and everything. So take a look at the fiber as well. And then the area that I wanted to specifically mention, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but I want to talk to you about some herbs that work to reduce your blood glucose levels. And they work in a couple of ways. Curcumin is one, and curcumin boosts blood sugar control and helps to prevent disease. That's a great herb to put in if you're in the diabetic realm. Cinnamon, about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon a day can result in a significant improvement in your blood sugar levels, cholesterol levels, and your triglyceride levels. I'm finding that one of my favorite snacks these days is to take a tablespoonful of honey, a tablespoonful of peanut butter, and then sprinkle about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon in it, and then spread that on toast or just eat it right out of the bowl. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's a great snack. It's filling, and it gives you a lot of essential nutrients in terms of all the good stuff that you get out of honey, all of the enzymes that you get out of the honey. The cinnamon balances any sugar intake that might be there.
I bet my kids might eat that.
That would be wonderful. It's a great alternative to just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Right.
Use peanut butter, honey, and cinnamon and make a sandwich out of that.
Interesting.
Bitter melon's been used in Asia for many, many years. It's believed to reduce fatigue and thirst, but it also get rid of many of the symptoms of type 2 diabetes. So take a look at bitter melon. Milk thistle, the common ingredient in it is called silymarin, but we use that to reduce insulin resistance. Holy basil increases the secretion of insulin in your body. So you've got things that'll help to prevent you not getting the insulin and things that will actually help to increase the insulin. And then she lists 2 or 3 others that we use in herbal arenas to keep our blood sugars down. I'm going to close with the thing that we always do in Jolene's, and one of the things that I like best about her articles are the recipes that she's got at the end. I'm not sure that I'm very much into the okra water, which is the first one that she mentions, but there are some tremendous effects there, and there are ways that you can kind of sweeten it with some xylitol or things like that to make it more palatable. She lists some chocolate candies and some recipes for making them using the natural sugars, some homemade peanut butter so you don't get the added sugar to your peanut butter, and then a ginger lemon tea with cinnamon. Sounds absolutely wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
This is one that I will be trying today because I got the ingredients together when I read the blog a couple of days ago, and now I'm going to make me some lemon ginger tea with cinnamon.
Yummy.
The blood sugar management is extremely important as we think about Halloween and think about all the candies and sweets that we eat. Let's try to do some things to make sure that we don't end up with diabetes. Read the blog. It really is fascinating, the things that she's brought out, and a very good synopsis of what diabetes is, how it can be treated, and how you can manage yours naturally without having to take all of the chemicals that we're using today to control it.
Thehealthpatch.com, and go to the resources tab. You'll find the blog article. And until next month, be healthy.
Be healthy. Amen.